So there's a lot of buzz about the Advanced Paris brand, and like there's a reason for this. They're amazing looking machines, and they just sound so good. And today I want to talk about them, and I don't have one in front of me, but I want to talk about the A12 and the A10, and I want to talk a little bit about the MyConnect 250 because that's going to be a little new for both of us, but it's a brand new kind of product for the U.S., and it's very exciting. And we just got to see it in person at Capitol Audio Fest.
Yeah, I did.
And right now, they're actually doing like a deal right now with the Bluetooth adapters being free when you buy A10 or A12 or a MyConnect 250. So I was like, hey, it's a good time to do a video. You can get them at alleataudio.com. That is our HiFi store. My name is Lenny Florentine. This is Tom. We're here to help you build a better hi-fi system, and a lot of people have been turning to Advanced Paris for this reason, and it's something that we both have some experience, you probably more than me, but I can tell you because I do build a lot of systems with Advanced Paris, and I talk to the people who add them to their system, and they're very happy with the performance of them.
Yeah.
And for me, being a guy that really likes how stuff like when it looks really cool, you have meters. I mean, I've used these a lot in the past, but like you have a little more experience. But
yeah,
they have the meters,
yeah.
They have the little tubes in the middle. Like it's a really cool looking product, and the performance for the price is second to none.
You know, the one thing on the aesthetics, like the front plate that no one talks about, because you have to be in like a dark room, is the white ring around the volume knob.
Really?
Yeah, it looks really nice.
So does the A12 have them around all of them?
Yes.
Maybe?
I'm pretty sure they do. If not, it's definitely just around the center one. No, I'm pretty sure they do, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's good. So it starts with the A10. The A10, how many watts are these?
120, 125.
Pull up the A10. We're going to pull up the A10. So the A10 is the starting point at $2,800. Correct?
130, yeah.
130 watts.
Yeah.
So that's a good deal right away. You got the meters, you got the tubes, you got all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like, what does and there's so many connections on these things. Like, there's so much to talk about that's exciting about these. Like, I'm kind of struggling on where to start.
I know.
But so you have the A10.
I'm waiting for you to land on something.
Right? No, I'm not. I don't even know where I'm going because there's so many exciting things about it.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So the A10's at 130 watts. What's the A12?
190.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a big jump. The A12 can really gives the juice. But hold on.
So I currently just built, and I don't always remember the wattage and everything like that, so there's so many things. But I just built a system. I'm currently building a system with the A12, and we're doing Spendor Classic 100s, which are just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And a Parasound JC3 Junior for the phono preamp. And there's a lot of other components in there. But
that's nice.
Yeah, oh, dude, this system's so nice. So, you know, if you are looking to build a system, even if it's not at that level or whatever, you can call and text us, and we will help you build that, even if it's something that we don't sell at alleataudio.com. We'll help you with advice. That's what we're here for.
It's true.
So, what's the A12?
190.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, now pull up the MyConnect. We'll probably leave the MyConnect up because we don't know. I've only seen it once at the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the MyConnect is definitely an interesting thing. Where, I mean, I was going to say that bundle right now with the Bluetooth receiver.
Yeah.
Bluetooth isn't ideal, but they do a nice job. I mean, you can do high res with Bluetooth a little bit easier now.
It is aptX, right?
Sorry?
The Bluetooth has aptX Bluetooth.
I don't even know what that means.
Really? It's just a higher end Bluetooth. Like anything at this level is going to have aptX.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but they're included, so you don't even need to worry about having a source. I mean, you can just get one of these, like an A10 or A12, and just start listening to music on your phone. But once you get to the MyConnect, it does get a lot more serious with the streaming.
Really? Oh, wait, is there a streamer in there?
Yes. I actually don't know. Hold on. I don't know.
So what's really cool about the MyConnect, I thought, is that it has a CD player.
Does it?
It does. See? This is an exciting... This might be the most surprising thing we've ever done. It combines right?
Dude, I read this section where they go into. Hold on, I'm gonna mess up like this audio. I'm laughing at this mic so much, but this line, it says, "Of course, it cannot be a MyConnect product if it does not include a CD player." And I thought it was saying it does not include a CD player. So I was like, I was super thrown off.
I think it's so cool. Like, a lot of people maybe look down on all-in-ones, but like when you have something that's made like this, and the Advanced Paris stuff is made so nice.
Yeah.
Like the quality of the inside build, they always show pictures of the inside, which I think is great. Like, I think that really is telling about how a company like believes in their product and what they put behind the product, and especially something that comes in. I think you're getting a lot for the price, and it's not an entry level integrated amp at all. At starting at $2,800. How much is the MyConnect? And
43.
Yeah, so it's not an entry level, but it's like a mid-tier level, and there's just so much that's packed into this. I mean, when we get to connections and all that stuff, there's just a ton. But having a CD player, and I'm guessing it has streaming too. Like, I already kind of know
It does.
That. Yeah. Okay.
It's got an Ethernet connection on the back.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that you don't see that too much anymore, do you?
You would. Now that I think about it, you'd only see that if it was like a dedicated streamer. You wouldn't. There's some other.
So would you do a wired connection over a Wi-Fi connection?
I've really looked into that. If you're not going to boost your quality of the quality of the audio going from a wireless to a wired. It's just if if it's not stable on Wi-Fi, Ethernet will fix that. But that's it. Also, if you hardwire it, you don't have to go through an annoying setup process. It's just in.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Like most things have an annoying setup.
All my stuff's hardwired.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All my stuff is Wi-Fi.
And it looks really ugly. Like I have a long Ethernet cable going up the steps, which I have gaff taped to each step going up. And it's been like that for like 3 years.
You're such a pro sound guy.
But it's hardwired.
I guess that's true.
But you don't need to do it.
No, you don't need to do that. But you can.
Yeah,
and you can if it has that. So you have the A10, 130 watts, $2,800.
Yes.
You have the A12.
No, it's like $24.99.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah, the A10. Yeah, $24.99.
I'm totally wrong. Well, it's a $2,800 value.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
you're saving $300.
Right, $2,500, and right now you can get it with the Bluetooth. And then you go up to the A12. How much is the A12?
$3,800.
You have it right in front of you, and you're closing your eyes.
It's $37.99. Well,
You're good. You know your stuff. That was just a test.
Couple prices.
I can't keep up. And then so I think what's interesting is a lot of people are kind of confused on which way to go.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people actually buy the A10
and upgrade.
Dude,
it's like half of the people that buy the A10.
Really?
Easily.
So why?
It's because they have big speakers. And you can get away with 120, but that 190 is going to... And everyone, if you've got floor standing and you're buying an A10, just know you're going to upgrade it to an A12. Because the thing that Advanced Paris does really well in all their products is the amp. Their amps are just... They're phenomenal. For the price, it is big, beefy, lots of power, Class AB. You're barely even getting out of the Class A range, which you can see on the VU meters. But no, I mean, the amplifiers, I mean, people always just want, they get the A10 and they just know if they have like big floor standing speakers, like some Dovedales or Elysians, Spendor. Did he get the A10 for the Spendor?
No, he got the A12 for the
cool.
Spendor. Yeah.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I wasn't. So the one thing I try to do when I'm building a system.
Like, oh, man.
No, the one thing I try to do when I build a system is I like to let people know, like, okay, like, if something is going to be so much better, like I wouldn't want you to buy one product that you're just going to want to get something else. Like I want to make sure it's right. Like that's why we want to know what's in everybody's system, and we kind of follow them with the journey. Like we know our client systems, and we kind of curate everything for them, and we just know it over time when they're ready to upgrade. Like we just know we're like, oh yeah, you should do this next, and we kind of start talking about that right away. We're like, look, it's a journey. Take one step at a time, but I did an A12 because I knew the A12 would go really good with the Spendor Classic 100s, and which are fantastic speakers.
They're my favorite.
They're our best. Do you know there are best selling speakers of the Spendor Classic 100s?
Keep it that way.
We should keep it that way.
The best speakers. Well, I mean, they're all great speakers.
There's a lot of really good speakers, but those are just fantastic speakers. I have a pair in my house right now.
Yeah.
They're in the box. They're for someone else, but
it's good though. It's good having them around.
It's good just to know, and you should see the box. Did you walked in and saw the boxes?
Yeah, they're huge.
They're just massive boxes. It's amazing. So anyway, back to Advanced Paris. what do people say who ordered the A10 when they call you up and they say, I want the A12? Does that conversation go the same way every time?
It's changed over time.
So I want to know, because I'm not the one like that's answering the phones all the time.
Like early on, some of it's kind of my fault. They'll ask me straight up, like, do I need to get the A12? And I'll tell them no. Because the A10 has 120 watts. I mean, that's the standard wattage for a lot of integrated. I mean, in my head, it's not like official, but like 100 watts.
Okay.
So the A10 is still giving you a good bit more than that. So I'm like, yeah, A10, you're good. But then they'll call me back and be like, the people that I bought my speakers from, they said like the A12 will drive them a lot better, and that's true. And now, that conversation when they call, like, if I kind of try to get them ahead of time and just let them know, hey, you may want to start thinking about this, because you probably will. But if it does get to the point where they call back later and they're like, hey, I got the A10, and I'm like, I'm not surprised.
Oh, you already know what's coming next?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, no, it's like, this is the thing.
And it's mainly floor standing speakers.
Yeah,
it's A10,
mm-hmm.
You're probably fine with bookshelves.
Yeah.
But floor standards, if you can afford to get the A12,
it just drives them way better.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And is it speaker type, is it certain speaker types, or is it just like any, like if you're just like, you have floor standards that are on the higher end?
I mean, if you got some like super efficient stuff.
So like if you have clips.
Yeah.
Is it going to make, how much of a difference is it?
Well, that's a whole nother discussion.
Oh, okay.
Because there are, I really like power.
Okay.
And I do like, a power hungry speaker getting a bunch of power, and it's just you really feel the impact of the sound. Clips, it's like people will take the opportunity to only do a watt or two, just get all the amplification, go real audiophile.
Uh-huh.
I like throwing a lot of power into a clip.
Okay.
I've definitely heard people like it clips them.
Well, that's something, we can help people with their systems.
Yeah. It gets real dynamic. I mean, I don't like throwing. I don't mind throwing like a couple 100 watts into a clip speaker.
Yeah, it can be wild, especially like with the Cornwalls. Cornwalls are my favorite.
Yeah,
but
you don't have to. You can do whatever.
You can do whatever you want.
It depends on how much you like the drive.
Okay. Yeah.
The drive of the speakers.
Okay. So one thing on these that is just the wildest thing is they have so many connections. So I was doing this system, and I learned this stuff like as I go, right? Like we all do. Like that's
sure.
We have experience with a lot of this stuff, and I build a lot of higher end systems and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like, and I'm doing this system, and there's 2 amps, right? So we're using a Duke VU3 Pro, which I'll put in the description of this video or whatever. That's the mixer, or that's the speaker box.
Yeah.
Right, the one that changes colors that I didn't even know about until I plugged it in. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Right, so we were doing 2 amps and 2 pairs of speakers.
Yeah.
And doing the 2 amps, I'm like, where am I going to run everything into? Because usually integrated amp doesn't have that many inputs. This integrated amp, the A12 has so many, like it might be like 7 or so inputs. Mm-hmm. You have 2 XLRs, you have 4 RCAs, mm-hmm. you have a phono, mm-hmm. and the coolest thing is it has a record out, so you can actually just send the signal to another amp mm-hmm. without having to do anything crazy.
Yeah,
like it's just straight tape signal,
mm-hmm.
and I think that function is amazing. Like that they have a record out on there is really just a fun thing. Mm-hmm. Have you listened to the phono sections of these?
No, I have. I mean, it's extremely functional. I mean, all the aspects in the DACs, phono preamps, it's all very high quality, but you do get their phono preamp has more functionality. There isn't like the knob that you'd see on the XRM, but you do have some switches that you wouldn't necessarily see in a lot of integrated amps in terms of dialing in your impedance, things like that for your moving coil.
Oh.
There's even, I mean, this is kind of jumping around, but like the DACs, I mean, there's like You have HDMI, you have USB, optical. There's like a pass-through HDMI. It's like,
Really?
yeah, it's like everything.
Now, see, I wasn't using the HDMI in the one that I was building, but that's a very interesting thing because I think HDMI is important. Everybody uses this. Like, I think 2-channel. And I did a video on this with Cambridge Audio that we did on the Exponent podcast. So I do the Exponent podcast. So if you go over to the Exponent YouTube channel, we have a new podcast out that is me talking with the heads of all these hi-fi companies.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But I was talking to Cambridge. I was talking to Matt from Cambridge. And we kind of came to both, and in both of our opinions, because that's what it is, it's just in our experience, we both use 2-channel systems for home theater.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't mean that, I mean, if you have a big 13, 11 channel, 5 channel, whatever home theater, it's great. But we use 2-channel. I think a lot of people use 2-channel.
Yeah.
And I think having HDMI and integrated amps is very important because a lot of people do it the way that I do it. And a lot of people do it the other way too. But it gives you that added benefit that you can do. Some people stream Spotify through their TV and then they want to see the stuff on the TV.
That works very well. And it's future proof. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna see TVs totally getting rid of coaxial and optical, and it's just all going to be HDMI. So if you don't have the HDMI, you're going to be, just stuck. You're going to have to get like a cheap box off Amazon that converts like HDMI to optical, and that's So yeah, I mean, for future proof, it's a big thing to have that.
So you touched on the DAC, and I know you're like...
Well, I did want to say, though, because I agree with the 2-channel home theater.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot more practical.
I would love to hear what people think in the comments, 2-channel or multi-channel.
But
what are you actually using? Not what do you think's better? What are you using? Because I think that's a difference.
Well, I think a lot of people would be using multi-channel because they want that multi-channel home theater experience, but then they listen to music through it, and it's But with the A10, with you have record out, you have HDMI pass through, you can easily have a totally separate 2-channel and multi-channel system the right way, just having your sources go to A10.
Oh, that's cool. I've done a lot of systems like that where they do have the home theater, but they want a 2-channel amp, and sometimes it's hard without a pass through to incorporate that.
Yeah,
and that's awesome that you can actually use it for that purpose.
Yeah.
So let's get to the DAC because I know you're waiting because you're the DAC guy. I'm not. I am not the DAC guy. I do stream. Okay, that's probably my primary source is streaming when I'm not watching YouTube, and I use the Cambridge Audio EXN 100. That's my streamer. It's behind the camera over on the rack there. And if you want to see that rack behind the scenes of how we set up today, and it is a disaster, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like behind the scenes. But anyway,
we'll keep doing it.
We'll keep. I love that idea of just showing people like behind, because we do have a member thing on this channel, but you're really just supporting us. It's a way to support us, and this channel has become a member. So, but the DAC in this, how is that? Because all the numbers and all that stuff, and that's kind of foreign to me. I'm like, oh, that DAC's better. It sounds better, but lay it down.
With DACs, I mean, there's so many Sabre chips out there. People that are into DACs, I mean, they're pretty familiar.
I get lost.
Yeah, I mean, Cambridge Audio, it's all Sabre. It's HiFi Rose, if you're getting the streamers, that's all Sabre. And I really, really like what those companies do with Sabre chips because they can be very bright. And, clarity is really good up to a certain point. It's smoothed out with HiFi Rose. It's smoothed out with Cambridge. But if you don't do that, it can be kind of harsh.
Okay.
They don't use a Sabre chip.
Really?
For the Advanced Paris. Yeah.
Well, that's actually kind of exciting because a lot of people use Sabres.
I think it's like a Burr Brown. Generally,
you have it in front of you.
Yeah, but I don't think it's very, easy to find.
Really?
Yeah. I want to say it's like a Texas instrument. I could be wrong.
I have the entire catalog for Advanced Paris, like a physical catalog.
Okay.
I should have brought that out, but we weren't planning on talking about this today.
Ultimately, it doesn't really matter.
Really? Wow.
I mean, like the same thing with the Sabres. It's like I'd be like, oh, they're brighter, and I don't like them. But then I do at a certain point, and it really just depends on how it sounds. My big thing, my kind of point with the Advanced Paris is it's a very natural sounding DAC.
Okay.
It is not too bright. It's not. It's just very neutral, and I do prefer those DACs. Like I'm an AKM guy.
I have an AKM DAC.
Really?
Yeah, it's right up there. It's the
there's
yellow
one
one.
that switches?
It's the Gishelli J2.
Oh yeah, that's a great AKM.
I love Gishelli stuff. They're the best.
Yeah, no, that they for if you're not trying to spend a ton of money on AKM, Gishelli is definitely a great way to do it.
Yeah.
But also you got that RD160 now. But anyway, the HiFi Rose.
The HiFi Rose.
Which we should get.
Well, I actually am building a system with the RD160. Yeah. So it's
also a Luxman DAC.
I can't wait to
I don't
hear
even
that.
know what chip. I've never even seen that chip. They're doing their own thing.
It's we're Luxman. So if you are interested in Luxman too, we're consultants for Luxman. So
yeah,
we know as much as possible. Apparently not what DAC's in there off the top of our head.
No, it's out there, but I hadn't seen it. I have to do more research. But I mean they're just
it's so good. The Luxman stuff's so good. Like,
dude, like because now they have the streamer and the DAC. But whatever.
Okay, back to we'll get to Luxman in another video.
But I do like a natural sound. You get more low end when it's not so high frequency forward, and it's just just more natural and like DACs that are more analog sounding. I used to think that was all BS, but there is actually something to that, and I do think that the Advanced Paris they do go for that sound, and they do a good job.
That's probably the best answer you could have gave somebody like me. Because the numbers of the DAC to me mean nothing. Yeah. Like if a number's higher, okay, and then I know they have like reference at the end. And look, I'll be the first to admit I am not a DAC specialist. That's why you're here. I mean, that's not the only reason, but like, but like you're the DAC specialist, right?
Yeah.
So you like have heard all the DACs. That's your thing. And I think that's the best way of putting it because that's what I would be looking for. Like, what am I getting out of these numbers and these letters? Like, Saber, ESS, 9032, QRM, all these letters, right? Like, I don't know
what does the Q mean.
Yeah, I don't have any idea I don't know, right? It doesn't matter to me. Like, I just care about how it sounds. And I think that's why the way you put it is just an awesome, awesome way of doing it.
Some of the best DACs I've ever heard have older Saber chips.
So what are some other reasons? Are there any other reasons like that people are upgrading? I'm actually really curious about
from the A10 to the A12?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean the big thing is the amp. Yeah, the balance connections is a big thing for me.
Is there not balance on the 10?
There's more
Pull up
on the 12.
Oh, there is.
Yeah,
okay,
you have 2 inputs and you have a balanced pre-out. So if you have like a nice big Parasound amp and you want to get that going.
Really? So you have... Oh, wow. Oh, and it is a lot... Wow.
Yeah.
The back of it is a lot different.
Yeah, No, the A12 with it's the balanced connections and it's the amp is the big thing.
A lot more connections. It's a big difference. Because I think that's one of the things. Like that seems to be the question that gets asked the most. Like the differences from the 10 to the 12, and we'll do something on that where we'll actually kind of break all of them down. That really was not the plan today. We just thought I kind of want to talk about Advanced Paris because I very much like the brand, and we got to see him at the DC Audio Fest.
Yeah, actually meet him.
Capital Audio Fest. I said that wrong, but
I didn't even notice.
Right. Well, it's in DC. So it's Capital Audio Fest. We got to see. You know what looked really cool, and this isn't on the same subject as the A10, the A12, or the MyConnect, but the higher end integrated. Pull that up. So I think it's the 1100, if I'm not mistaken. I may have the model number wrong. It's the 4th one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did I have the model number right?
Yeah.
Dude, this amp. So in person, this one, the display looks even better. And so the A10 and the A12 displays look amazing. And the tubes, like this one doesn't have tubes, but the tubes look really good. Like the whole like layout, like it's one of the main reasons like you would get this, right? Like it's just so cool looking. But this one just had such a high end look. How much is this one?
5,000.
And this is the 1100?
Yes. XI 1100.
XI 1100. Dude. Like this could I feel like people could buy the A12 and be like, I think I need to get this one.
You do get more power. But the big thing with this, I mean, they just have, it's just a really high-end piece.
But it's not a huge price difference, which is very interesting.
No, I mean, I guess you're not too far away from
you're losing the tubes and stuff. What's the back look like? Are you losing anything on the back? No, well, I mean, even the back's done completely different.
Not as many XLRs, but the back, I mean, these are way higher
Wow.
quality connectors.
Are there multiple? Why are there multiple speaker connectors? That is very interesting. So the back shows, like, you have the RCA's up to, what?
You can buy wire.
You can buy wire, like, just out of...
Like, you can get wire on both ends, and that's what these connections are for. It says only for wiring.
What?
So you could power, if you had a speaker that was bi-wired, you could get 2 separate speaker wires to like go from the amp to those posts.
Oh, okay. That's
You
awesome.
could like break it. I mean, with bi-wiring, there's like, you have it where, just out the box where you have one normal speaker wire.
That goes to 2.
Yeah. And then, it's like bridged together.
Mm-hmm.
You can upgrade those bridges. That's something I like to do. You can get wire that bi-wires out. That's even better. Because
usually you're going out of A and B, right? Like you could do it that way.
This is just coming out of just like A to a speaker.
Okay.
You're either like, and your speakers do take the bi-wire.
Mm-hmm.
You can either just get speaker wire, like some Rocket 33 bi-wire that just has 4 outs on one end.
Right.
So you can just, not have that bridge. It's just all done on the wire. That performs a little bit better. I feel like my mic is dropping. But this I feel like would be just even the next step.
Okay.
Where you are able to get just 2 separate wires.
I mean, that's really cool because really it's coming out of 2 separate amps at that point. The amps must be separated.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be like a lot of people mono block them. So it's a dual mono build. That's really cool. Look at the toroidal transformer. I totally said that wrong, but the toroidal transformer in the front,
what I could have done,
right, that is a wild build.
Yeah, it's all the way from the back of all your ins and outs,
separated by a shield.
What do they call it? I wanted to say shelving, but
I don't know.
Face is a great.
Yeah, it's just like
segmented.
Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, that's what you would say, right?
But then that's probably not what you would say.
It is not at all.
But it's all separated. I mean, like it's not even just like spaced out. It's like they have actual shields, like what you were saying. It just help. It's like you have a separate preamp. Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole nother conversation, I think, for another day.
Yeah.
But I think like what we tried to do and what I wanted to talk about was I know it was a thing that people really are kind of curious of the difference in the A10 and the A12.
Yeah.
And hopefully we give a little clarity in that without like going all in depth on one or the other. And we'll do that. We'll do a video for all of them. Like that'll be a thing. But I just thought it would just be interesting just to kind of talk about it. I hope you guys continue the conversation in the comments. Let us know if you have questions so we can put it in future videos. Mm-hmm. And if you are interested in advanced Paris, you can call us. Our number's on the top of the screen on allleadaudio.com. It's also in the description of this video. I'll put your phone number in there so they can text you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me know what kind of speakers you have. If it's going to go well, pair well, which one works best for you.
Yeah, it's just going to be amazing. So, hey, but for today, that's all we got. We'll see you guys next time. And don't forget to check out the behind the scenes of this and see how we set this up.
Yeah.
And why we probably keep showing back up in different spots on this table as the camera flickers and we have to redo things. See you guys.